Welcome. You are about to take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition show. For the next hour, allow her to prepare you in becoming a magnet for a profound love-infused relationship by identifying and focusing on solutions through love. Awaken the light within and let your essence shine. And now, here's Deborah Beauvais on Love by Intuition, all part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Welcome, everyone. Bonjour, mes amis. And yes, here I am, Deborah Beauvais, founder and owner of the Dream Vision 7 radio network. And if you haven't heard or listened to our station, we are a syndicated Boston-based internet radio station with all the bells and whistles where we produce live shows with videos and all kinds of technical situations via, instead of terrestrial, we're actually doing it internet-wise. And we're also 24/5 as far as, or 25/6 music. Let me slow down. We have talk radio, holistic radio, Monday through Saturday, and divine music on Sundays. So check us out. You can listen with your apps. You can listen in the car, and you can ask Alexa to launch or play Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Well, I have a wonderful, beautiful guest this evening that you will listen to, hopefully, more than once. And she is singer-songwriter, radio host, and visionary Deborah Bruin-Tout. She has her own show, which is called The Second Genesis Awakening. And she is truly a visionary. She's an angel person where she does readings for people. Her and her husband have started the Human Accelerator, and you can get in touch with her by going on that site, thehumanaccelerator.org. She also has her own music, and she has actually written, and she has a beautiful voice and has written all this great music that you can hear during the week in between shows as well as on our Divine Music Sundays. So we're going to get into discussing the power of choosing love in the chaos of the world today. There's so much heaviness, and we want to share some thoughts and ideas on how to stay centered, how to stay in choosing love when there's so much going on around us. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Deborah.
Thank you so very much for just having this and having the Love by Intuition show. And Deborah, I've known you for a long time, and I am so grateful to be a part of the Dream Vision 7 Radio Sustainability, Green Regeneration shows. And oh, Deborah, I can't say enough to you. Just thanks for your warm heart and your open heart for all of us to have this incredible love that's always available on your shows. And I know your listeners know it. And hello to your listeners.
Well, thank you, Deborah. And back to you. I'm honored to have you and Adam T. Because you're really sharing information that people need to hear today. For those that may not be aware, you're actually plant-based, organic, and I love to hear Adam T's little promo where no milk, no eggs, no cream. I love that. But we'll get into that in a little minute and I want to talk about your music as well, but in the chaos that we have today and where you're resonating at a higher vibration, for the listeners, how do you stay positive and connected to God, Spirit, Creator?
I feel that it's a practice, one that's come over the years and years of practice And, of course, the way I've always said on our shows, if you come listen to the Second Genesis Awakenings, what we are, what we eat. But with all that said, the love right now, the love that is all about you and about others, it's actually letting go of judgments lately and withdrawing from my attention on dramas at the surface of our world right now and reconnecting to the core essence, the core, the soul that is profound that I can't get enough of recently. It's gone on for many, many years now, but I just love with all my heart the true sincerity, the truth and the light that I feel that is within every single one of us, but I'm really embracing that light within myself that brings that stability, that's this field of energy, of love and light from what many times we say, you and I, Deborah, the benevolent ones. There's the angels and all the ascended ones, and for me it's the Christ energy. But if you say that, then there's connotations on that. To me, Christ is light, and it's the meaning of love, and in this collective. But right now, with all the instability and all the waves of consciousness in a collective consciousness, which I don't feel is a part of this. It's actually, I would like to say, an antithesis. It thinks it's always wanting to bring destructive behaviors, destruction. And this energy is constructive and positive, and it thrives. And so I love to feel it. I love to embellish it, and I feel there's a momentum happening, these shifts and a rebirthing for our planet right now. And I'm feeling this energy that as I keep surrendering, like recently, we're going to probably talk about that in a little bit, was the show that we were going to do with my sister Barbara and our Father's Song. But there's in music has always been my first language. So I love to go to good music, to the music of what I feel the higher vibrational songs. Nature, Mother Earth. Mother Earth is we feel the distress and the challenges of everything, but that's the collective consciousness that is detracting or wanting to destroy. We are here to be healers. We're here to, like your shows are promoting, every one of them, to bring forth this becoming, what we're becoming in this new birthing. And I feel that even the Mother Earth is birthing right now. And we want to be a part of this enlightenment, this blanket of warmth, this tender mercies that are actually here, but it's practicing it. And before I go to bed, and I know you practice it, Deborah. I feel you in the work that you do, and so many. But in the practicing of it, it becomes more of a second nature. It's something that happens. As I was getting ready to come on, Kevin, Adam T. Gardner, had mentioned in his book, and I thought about it, so true. He has a page called the yawning page. And a lot of times when we yawn, we might not, I'm aware of it, we've become very aware of it. It's you yawn and you want your ears to pop and you just keep yawning. I don't know if you do that, but there's this, it's yawn, and once you're done, it's just, you feel better, you feel released. And we call that and in his book he says that too, but we've been calling it, and I've known it, he said it, and I went, yeah, we're integrating. As things are melting off us, it's an integration. And so when you're yawning, if you just become cognizant and aware of that consciousness, of being conscious, of being the observer, then we're like, oh yeah, I feel better when I yawn and yawn and yawn. And so that's just, little passages in his book. But there's so many things, so many modalities that you have, that I'm in celebrating the light in Dream Vision 7 radio right now, as I do the music, and what happened recently with my sister and I, and in writing in finding my father's song in his piano bench over 4 decades now, not over, but almost 4 decades now, and I could remember the song. I could remember it like it was yesterday. And she said, well, can you record it? And I said, yeah, I'll get Kevin.
Well, first of all, let me interject, Deborah.
Please do. Thank you.
Yes, and I've got some questions that I wanted, but we can get back to that because now you opened up the conversation about a miracle that has happened that you've experienced. And one of the reasons I wanted you to speak to that is that everyone has a miracle developing, bubbling up. They may not know what it is at the moment, but there's something that's intertwined in their life to this very day that is bubbling up to help us as a society to raise the love within us, to connect and from our hearts. And so you have experienced a miracle about your father's music that was left in the piano chair, if I understood that correctly.
That's right.
So tell us how you felt when you opened up that and you saw, what were you feeling before you even contacted your sister?
What had happened with that piano bench, we had found it years ago, so I'll just quickly say that. And then I'd taken it and got a new piano and a clavino piano, maybe 30 years now. And I put it in the piano bench. Then I put it onto my computer. And it's been there for 5 years. And it was handwriting, my dad's handwriting. I just loved it. And I felt, Deborah, that it's just a description of pure divine love, of just the most, how loved and cherished. And I read that, and the memories just with him playing the piano right before he crossed, he was writing this song that we found in the piano bench that I found on the computer. And I was doing a thing for, I wanted to do something. It was on June 18th of Father's Day, 2023, just recently. And I thought, I'm going to do a Father's Day, tribute. I was looking on my computer everywhere and for pictures, and I wasn't even thinking about the song. Well, the song came up, and it just came right up really bigger than everything I was looking at, and I'm like, so I thought, oh, okay. And then I said, well, I don't know about that to myself. That's wonderful, but I needed to get the song done. The tribute, because I had my husband's tribute and things to get on with the day. And so the computer shut down. The computer froze. It just froze. And so I thought, well, I'm going to have to reboot it. My computer is very delicate right now, and so in order to do that, I was very careful. And I thought, okay, and I've got it to where, now to those that are listening, you'll say, yeah, but I'm very clear, total crystal clear, that when I went to touch things, I always make sure that I shut it down just so that it won't, when I give it a command, it will not bring anything up again, because then it can just foul me up forever on my computer. Well, it came up, and there it was, really big, nothing else but that same thing. I decided to go get Kevin. There's Dad's handwriting. That, look at this, I'm doing a tribute. I'm wanting him to see it. He goes, yeah. He didn't get in the energy that I'm in, but he saw that. So I had to shut it down again, and it was there again. So I said, all right, I've got the message. And I did a Facebook tribute for my father with the music. Told my sister about this a couple of days later, and she said, can you remember singing it? Do you remember sitting with Dad on the piano bench when all this was happening and he was writing it? And I said, yes, I can sing it. I can remember it. She says, you can? And she says, well, I know I can, but she says, I'm not sure I know the tune. And I just sang the tune as if it was timeless and right here, right now. And she says, do you think you can record that so that I could have it? And I go, yeah, I'll get Kevin to. So I recorded me singing the song and of the verses that he'd written. And there wasn't any sheet music or anything, but there were he typed it and he had it in his handwriting. And I just remembered it. And so she shared it with my cousin, and she said, "Are you sure that's all right?" I said, "Of course." And then Michelle, our cousin, got together, her mother and I and Barbara. It just continued. It just continues. The love. Just keep choosing love. And this love continued to just envelop us with the love of our Father, the love He had for every one of us. Every one of us knew we were loved by Bill, and cousins, and Beth, and that's his sister, and the whole family that would sing, and we'd get together and have honky-tonk music. This is when we were little. I don't know when I wasn't born, probably in my mother's womb listening to them sing. They'd always get together back in the day.
Right. So now your family actually had come together, 77 of them from all over the country, to hear this song that the two of you finished up. And that amazes me in itself, that everyone would come together, no matter where they lived, to celebrate the song and your dad and the family. So
everyone. Yes, there was 77. There's a big family, but they did, and those that weren't there were there in spirit. On the earth or not. Yeah, it was a big gathering of love and beyond
so
our
in this time that we're in, with the devastation that goes on in the world, did you feel that this was something special not only for your family but for the world? At least that's how I felt. Even if the song doesn't go anywhere but the family, it still has energy. And so people can feel that energy and the love that came from that, and the message your father is sharing from the other side of years ago. I mean, this is magical stuff. And I just wondered, for you to tell the listeners, did you realize once this energy started happening that there was something magical about it, not only for you but for everyone?
Well, I continued. Barbara became the driving force. She really did. And it was wonderful to watch her and all the magic, call it, just this divine orchestration of getting us all together. Now, remember, many of our family members, they didn't come from all over the world, but it was a couple of them from the United States flew in. But the beautiful part about it is that they were inclined to get the message and to sing together. During COVID, nobody was seeing each other anymore. All of that we went through had happened. So we're in 2023, plus the political landscape. Plus, and I don't want to stay on any of that, but many were not talking to each other like we used to. There were things going on, as many families were finding ourselves in. And this moment, they all came together, and the children had come together. Barbara knew, she said, I want to make sure that this goes to the next generation. I've written 2 verses here. Michelle arranged it, and she put 1984 to 2023. Kathy, her mother, got involved and made sure that we got the piano playing, just so, back to the day. It was just this involvement for the family, for the tribe we have. And when we got together, and it was September the 23rd, which my mother had passed away September 22nd. It was just a day within that of her crossing 10 years ago. The coincidences just keep on going, and they become serendipitous. They become serenity. And in this serenity, it's very surreal. You just know it's going to keep, if you just listen and let go, relinquishing judgments and not wanting to be in the dramas and those surfaces, that we can literally start reuniting as a family in this love that we have for it. And music was the key. Music is, as Barbara put in one of her, is clue.
Universal.
Yes, universal.
Yes.
And so, yes, I love what you're saying. The energy is it. It became the vehicle that Barbara and I thought we were going to be on this show today. And yet we knew the music wasn't quite what we wanted to be for Dream Vision 7 Radio. And we knew that it was too teeny. It wasn't in a professional, you couldn't hear it, your listeners. It wouldn't do it. And so we just let go. And here we are. And I said, well, let's do the show. And you said, yeah, on chaos. And then you had mentioned what you've said, that we can, what are you doing, Deborah? What are we here to share? Right. It's
well, we need to take our first break, Deborah.
Okay.
And yes, so we need to take our first break, everyone. This is a live show, so if you have a question or a thought and would like to call in, Bob is in the house. Feel free to call in. He'll put you forth. And our number here is 833-220-1200. Again, 833-220-1200. And when we come back, we're going to be shifting gears to talk more about Deborah's life and what she does with Kevin to stay in. We talked about instability. We want to talk about how we can be stable and do things that can help you deal with day-to-day life in a chaotic world. We'll be back in a moment.
Experience a different yet profound healing with Reconnective Healing. Includes yet expands beyond any and all known forms of energy healing. The Reconnective Healing spectrum is comprised of the full healing and evolutionary continuum of energy, light, and information. It allows for healings that are not just physical, not just mental, not just emotional, yet go beyond that to bring healing that includes the evolution of your very being and essence. DeborahBeauvais, trained and certified by world-renowned Dr. Eric Pearl, offers appointment hours at Seacock Family Chiropractic in Seacock, Massachusetts. For questions or to set up both distance or local sessions, call Deborah at 508-431-1959. Again, 508-431-1959. Or go to lovebyintuition.com. That's lovebyintuition.com.
Calling all authors. Have you been considering an audiobook? Well, look no further. Come take advantage of Dream Vision 7 Radio Network's unique in-house audiobook production, which includes benefits and bonuses from our radio station. Let our knowledgeable staff guide you to create the audiobook you've always dreamed of without breaking the bank. Check out our full one-stop service from A to Z, including the ACX process. Schedule a free consultation by calling 508-226-1723. That's 508-226-1723. Or go to dreamvision7radio.com.
After narrowly surviving the attack on Sandy Hook Elementary, first grade teacher Caitlin Roy DeBellis was left searching for answers that would never come. Eventually, she chose to focus on questions that could be answered. How do I make sure this tragedy doesn't define us? How do we get our control back? Those two questions led her to found the 501c3 nonprofit organization Classes for Classes. When gifts poured into their classroom, she decided they would help someone else by paying it forward and being kind. This developed into a social network which allows K-8 classrooms to connect so that every student in the United States can learn these crucial lessons. Classes for Classes' mission is to build students' social-emotional intelligence by connecting them to care. All C4C projects are crowd-funded. Any teacher in the U.S. can visit classesforclasses.org. That's classes, the number 4, classes.org. Sign up today.
Delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids children's book by DeborahBeauvais and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love Song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we are back. And if all of you listening can tell that Deborah is so excited and enthused about her magical experience, you can tell what would happen with you on your end with a magical experience. And that really fuels the energy to stay into choosing love over getting involved in the heaviness of what's happening in the world. But I wanted to talk a little bit about that instability that we are all feeling, because it's in the cosmos, it's in the collective energies, consciousness, all of that. And there are people that are maybe not even paying attention to what's happening in the world because they're so busy. And then there's others that are feeling heavy and low. And I mean, I even feel sadness for all the people that are perishing. And it's devastating, and yet you cannot stay in that space for too long, or it can bring you to a place of your own depression. So one of the things that I know that you and Kevin do is you actually go hiking, and that is really important. And so tell us a little bit about when the two of you are feeling maybe in that space and what you do to bring yourself out. You mentioned earlier nature, and certainly hiking is one of them, but you really, I mean, you don't hike, you hike.
Well, Kevin, Adam T. and Kevin Tout, Adam T. and I, we do a lot of things that we eat, sleep, and drink the light. You know, it's become our lifestyle. Just it brings us so much joy. And I'm not just saying this. It's an amazing experience when you feel your body in a higher vibrational field. And we do have our downs. We do have our lows. Where our bodies are cleansing or different things are going on, absolutely, and those things. But what we do is we do our breath. We love our breathing exercises. We love to just do a lot of, it's a breath. And it just continues to breathe. It feels like we've been saying to each other recently, the quicker we get to the breath, the quicker we release a lot of things releasing things that we just know. And then there's this willingness that we're finding to let go and know that this source of becoming is what's happening to us. And it sounds like, well, what's really happening? But there's a transformational conscious creation, the creativity that we love to be in. And I know, Deborah, I feel that you're in a lot of creativity because of all that you do all the time for Dream Vision 7 Radio and the network. But there's this, it's to where you know that you're to create, you want to be in this synergistic, loving energy. So we find that we're just the best we've ever been. And it's getting better and better because we feel that this transition that we're in, all of us, it feels destabilizing and it feels destructive. And that people that are unkind to one another, not unkind, we're talking chaotic. The chaos that's going on worldwide, and where this planet that we're on is so, there's such a momentum right now. That momentum is when we hold the sustainable energy, the sustaining living, and it's our Kevin and I feel it's our contribution right now for us doing our own work, each one of us in our own way, whether it doesn't make sense to you. Some of you say, what is she talking about? I'm talking about a vibration. Sometimes it's audio or inaudible. It's literally a feeling. And Deborah, you talk about that love infusion. And you know the difference when somebody is kind to you and you're not being bullied or you're not bullying. And we all know the difference. You know, we do, those that are in wanting and desiring with every fiber of our being to be raised up to the higher light, to that which is, I just don't like feeling this way today. Well, then it's a choice. And again, choose love, choose peace. You have a choice, and it's actually a real choice. And it takes practice.
And it really boils down to choosing love for yourself. I believe it starts with each and every one of us. And not that you can't love others, you surely can. But if you want the richness of love, it's choosing love for self. And then everything else, you know, has a wave and a connection from there. Yeah.
Well, there is this awakening also that it's got a momentum. It's a very active universal intelligence that is merging in our individual consciousness. That as we desire this, it desires us. It's like this momentum for our planet to go through this shift, which I felt the shift when we were going to do the show, and I was all excited, and then it shifted to this. And here we are now speaking about these things that help us all to thrive. And there's a collective of those of us that actually have known it for a long time, who do the work that you do, with Eric Pearl and studying and doing your work. Many do it in many different modalities. And yet we're all doing it. We all feel it. And that's what I ask for, is to be divinely sensitive to this vibration and only this vibration. I ask for that, and I ask for that for the show today. And to be in this beautiful rays of love. I think of the sun rays and how they have different colors and different, the sun that shines. But there's a sun in our hearts, the sunshine, and that as we continuously choose it, the momentum of this universal divine intelligence, it activates these codes that I feel are in Kevin Adam T. talks about it and shares in his book, and why we eat the way we do. And that it's an invitation to just be in that and stand in it in your own center, just emerged in this creative, limitless. It's not limited, because it's here to move us forward as a planet, as living in this awakening, the second, we like to call it, this show is the second Genesis awakening, because it's happening now. And it happens in any way that it does, but you'll feel it. It's synergy. It's touching. It's love. It's that compassion. And yet, to be empathetic is not what's happening right now. It can get you, like you said, it can make you depressed. It can, so much in listening to that lower vibration and it knows what it's doing. It wants to win. It wants to be destructive, and it's done that for eons now. But we're moving out of this. We're moving into a whole new, brighter dawn and a brighter light. And so as we choose love, we choose peace, we choose to be kind, and we make our stand in our own divine center in this core essence. And we do meditations. We want to be thoughtful, the thoughtful thoughts. And when you feel this rushing in you and all of this, you've got, can you hear and Susan Whiting says this is on our show, can you hear yourself, what you're saying right now? Can you hear yourself when you're not listening to how you're really acting? And then you go, oh, I need to choose love again. I'm determined to be a demonstration of this love.
Mm-hmm.
And when we focus on that, it expands.
Right. Right. Beautifully said. So you mentioned the books. Why not share the name of the books, and how can people purchase them and learn more about what you and Adam T. Kevin are doing?
Well, we have two books that Kevin has written, Adam T. Gardner, and they're at the Human Accelerator, and you've talked about that, the Human Accelerator. They're also on Amazon. And so if you go to the humanaccelerator.com, it's right there.
.org.
.org, excuse me, thank you. Kevin tells me that, Adam T. a lot. .org. And it's the humanaccelerator.org. And on that, there's programs that we have and a whole new way of being, which we're just so thrilled with to share. So the Second Genesis Awakening, Spontaneous Awakenings, is the first book. And it's a book of how-to. It's a book of everything you've ever wondered about, what the shift's about. He's been very, I think it's written for this time, and I think the time is now. Really,
and isn't that the one that has scriptures and it follows Kevin's journey on life? Right.
Yes, that's the one that talks about the liver and doing the work, and how to clean your kidneys and parasite cleanses, and it goes in depth about your human anatomy and your body and how it all works. So it's a book where many people have said to me that a lot of people that are actually worked in colleges and taught, in colleges, have said that it's a where-to-go book, to think differently and to look at your body differently, and because it's not the Western medical model. It's more about eating plants and what happens to you when you do that. Well, now for me, for 20 years, I don't eat meat, no eggs, no dairy, and none of the same as Kevin, Adam T., for all these years now. And so that's that book. And that's at thehumanaccelerator.org. The Second Genesis Awakening, Passage to Spontaneous Regeneration book. And then the other is the book on, I don't have it right in front of me, that plan.
It's the Second Genesis Diet, Welcome Home. And that gets into the actual, and there's recipes and such in there as well, correct?
The recipes are in there, but the big recipes are in the first book, the one that I said, the Spontaneous Regeneration book. The Welcome Home, Prodigal Son, passage I'm starting to get all over the place, but it's a green book, and the other one's a tan book.
Right.
And it is just filled with ways that you can, things that he shared. And what we're sharing basically, Deborah, and to our listeners, is this is the way we have found that really keeps us healthy and heals. It's literally healing things in our bodies, and without meds, without drugs, and without any drugs, of any kind.
Right. Yeah. Right. And more people are doing. You're serious about it. More people are joining organic and watching what they put into their bodies and taking a step back from conventional medicine. Not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but I see, as I've said before, a day where you blend conventional medicine with holistic medicine, and many physicians are already doing that, and that population is growing day by day. There are a lot of doctors that are going on a separate, they may have a half dozen of them, and they may go into a different way, a different model of treating patients so that they can spend more time with them. And they're either have they're looking at old medicine, oriental medicine, all the different pieces that help heal the body, because the body can heal, and there's ways to help it heal. And I think that's definitely the direction we're going in. I wish it would happen sooner than later. But with
it's
that
happening.
said,
it is time. Yeah, it's time.
Yes,
now.
It is. Yes, it is.
There's no moment like here to take care of to ourselves and really to be in this frequencies.
Absolutely. So we need to take our last break. Everyone, you can still call in. Bob is there, but you'll have to hurry. The number is 833-220-1200. And when we come back, we'll talk about Deborah's music, and we're going to talk about hope and find out some things that are going on in her life personally. Okay. We'll be back.
Take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition Show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern. Our message is love in the purest form. The light within us all is a guide to recall our beginning, to learn to love self and humankind, and to feel the higher power of our own divinity. To attract love, one needs to be love. Come join us and step into this glorious vibration called love.
Delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids children's book by Deborah Beauvais and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love Song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
Are miracles real? Can you move from mayhem to miracles? 30 prominent authors say yes as they share their high fives and down lows of challenges, abuse, addiction, and love. Experience hope, the magic elixir of miracles, through the personal stories of New York Times bestselling authors James Redfield, Dr. Bernie Siegel, Sister Jenna, Reverend Temple Hayes, and many more. If you like bestsellers, chaos to clarity, and crappy to happy, you'll love crying and laughing through mayhem to miracles. Sacred stories of transformational hope. Available now on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide.
It's a child's job to play, to learn, and to have fun. It's an adult's job to keep them safe. Did you know that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18? Every day, families enter the Children's Advocacy Center because a child's courage to tell someone what happened to them. Keeping our children safe starts with a conversation. This is Michelle Aranger, Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center. Learn more on how to keep your child safe. Visit cacofbc.org. This message made possible by the Fall River Rotary Club.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we are back. And I invite everyone to go to our site, which is Dream Visions, all one word with an S at the end, the number 7radio.com. A lot of our hosts have different things going on, retreats, specials. Our new host, Monica Chana, just had a Black Friday to Monday special for the work that she does. There's a retreat coming up in May of the new year, and it's just going to be a year of healing, a year of growing, and then really finding the nectar in life itself for you, the person, and we're all different in the sense of what would be our nectar. And that's one of the things I wanted to ask Deborah. You know, what is of everything that you've shared and all, what is the nectar in your life?
You know, it's been in the last 5 years, this regeneration and this sustaining energy. And I'm just loving. I love the way I feel. I love the way I feel so sustained. I don't feel like I used to. And
right. And one of the things that you faced tragedy in your life. Both daughters have transitioned to the other side, so you know what grief and tragedy is. And now you're in a place where it doesn't change in missing them in the physical, but you're in a space where you're just, you're at peace and you're resonating at a higher vibration. And I'm sure that there's hope in there as well. Is there?
Oh, the hope is constant. And I actually can begin to be where I see more hope than I see the other, because I keep choosing, like we were talking about, I keep choosing it, choosing love, choosing to see the power of that which we're created in the image of. And to me, that's cosmic love and the universal love and this celebrating the light that's in you and in me. And, it's been happening to me most of my life, even as a child. But since I found a key to everything I eat and drink, and and I'm very blessed to have someone who loves me, and I love him in such tenderness that it's just an amazing moment right now. And we work hard, we have our challenges. But in those challenges, in those lows, and yes, I know I've had several miscarriages in my life. I've had a near-death experience, and it wasn't a pleasant thing that happened to me by abuse. But those things are now, I feel that mayhem is now just pure laughter, and it happens more and more and more, less and less of the other. And it becomes like a memory that I don't even think about it very often. And there are times when things come up, and I embrace the lows. I embrace those times because I know that through the chaos, there's a opportunity for shift, and that which I'm becoming, I'm feeling things melting off me. The way I used to get along with my beloved, with Kevin, with Adam T. Now it's just not here anymore. It just doesn't even exist in me. I can hear what I'm saying. I feel different. I feel like the transition and the shift, as I'm sure that the modalities that you're talking about, that so many are celebrating here, as the healers and those that you just even mentioned before we came back, of what you have, Deborah, and I celebrate you. And, having a platforms for us, and all these different ways, as you say, nectars that we all have to that is that for us. And being a part of the human accelerator, knowing that I am a human accelerator, and literally in my flesh, and the embodiment of this earth, this vehicle. And I just did want to say one more thing, if it's okay, because I'm on the Human Accelerator page, and you go to shop when you see it. You go to the humanaccelerator.org, and it's the second Genesis Diet Welcome Home is the green book. Then there's the second Genesis Transformation, Passage to Spontaneous Regeneration. I just would want to share that with all of you because there's nectar in that for me.
Sure, absolutely. And so the gift that you're experiences as far as your gift to the world is music. And how old were you when you realized that you had a voice to sing and that you could put words to music?
Oh, that's so intuitive of you, because that's where I was about 5 years old. And I came to my father, and I'd watched The Wizard of Oz, and he could play the piano, and I said, I want to learn this song. And he says, you do? I go, yeah, I want to sing it. And so I started singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow at 5 years old. And then I don't even know where it came from, where I even heard it, but it was You'll Never Walk Alone. And I couldn't sing this song at 6 years old. I could sing the whole song without anything. I just knew it. Mm-hmm. And I would sing it, and I still love it to this moment. That song still really resonates in the child part of me that could connect to this source, this core essence, this soul part of me that felt like it had known that I didn't know when I didn't know music. Mm-hmm. That I would hear songs from long ago, and I'd go, it was like deja vu, like, where have I heard this before? And it was back, before I was born. Mm-hmm. And so those memories, those things that would come back to me had started with music. There was a song that I wrote. My brother was a musician, and he could play. He was like a prodigy. I would say that. He could play music long before he could know the notes. He could play anything. Mm-hmm. You could hear it and he'd play. He sat me down one time and on the piano, and he said, he was much older than I am now, and it seemed he was very wise. And he said, one thing, if I could hand it on to you, he'd gone to Boston Institute of Music and studied there, probably around 2021, I don't remember. But he said, I cheated. I just could hear the songs and I'd play them. He said, I would say to you that it's important to get to know how to read the language of music. And I've remembered that forever. So when Michelle was writing the music, or she transposes, and in compositions, I just love that. I love talent, and I love it in all the ways, not just music. When I hear somebody speak, like in the love infusion, and feel the intuition of love that you have, and feel this creativity that's just flowing, I get all excited. That's when I met Adam T. Gardner about 30 years ago, and I knew that, he exuded it for me. So, right. And I knew that as a visionary, he had asked me to be a part of the vision for the accelerator, the botanical part where people could meet in this community. He was doing that 40 years ago, and had this vision come to him. Well, and I could see the vision, and I love the vision of a place where we can all feel loved and cherished, and it starts within us. It's like you said, it starts here.
Right, and it's creating community, and it's everyone coming together with what their gifts are and what their knowledge is, and feeding each other in ways that they may be lacking. Someone might be lacking something, and then someone else has it, and so you bring it forth, and before you know it, you've got each person working equally for the highest good for all. And that's really it in a nutshell. Well, we've come to the end of the show, and I want to be sure that everyone knows the name of Deborah's show, which is the Second Genesis Awakenings Radio Hour. It's every Monday and Tuesday, 12 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and many times Adam T. is on, and I should mention Adam T. Gardner and Kevin Tout is one and the same, and so Kevin, alias Adam, is on Deborah's show many times, sharing his experience and his wisdom about what he has found the original diet and the original, and this goes back to the beginning of time. And it's a
very
beautiful
ancient
thing.
Indeed.
Yes,
it is.
Yes. So I want to thank you, Deborah, for coming on the show. What would you like to leave the listeners with? And at the same time, please share your website, which is Calling All Angels.
Yeah, my website is connected to the Human Accelerator too. They connect, but mine is callinallangels.com. And my name is Debara, so you can find me that way, is Debara, callinallangels.com. I have music there for you, and And then our shows are there that we are doing and what's coming up next. And Adam T. Gardner has just barely put videos on the Human Accelerator. And so as you come to the Human Accelerator in this last week, he's added all these videos that he's done for your listening. And when you go there, it's one that you would want time to just be with and take some time and slow down to be with some of the information. If that's something you would love, we're just excited to offer this at our community website at the Americans Medicine Wheels. It's the Human Accelerator, America's Medicine Wheels. And Deborah, I am humbled and I'm honored at the same time just to know you and to be your friend.
Thank you so much. I feel the same way about you, and I thank you for sharing your vision and all your knowledge and what you feel about the universe and where we're going, and how important it is to, feed yourself the right food, live from a place of love, and have compassion and do good for other people, and really delve into going within and find what your miracle is, what your specialty is, because we all have one, and it's a matter of tapping into that and then using that to serve the world and leave your stamp on the world, because it's so important for all of us to work together to let love rise higher than anything else on the world. So thank you, Deborah. And until we meet again, everyone, look within, love your neighbors, and choose love. Au revoir.
Are you seeking a clearer path to love? Then tune in to the Love by Intuition show next week. All designed to your highest good. To contact Deborah Beauvais, owner of Empowered Connections, call her at 508-226-1723. That's 508-226-1723. Or link on to lovebyintuition.com. Remember, we are all one, and we are all part of the miracle of love.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.